It's recording.
Yay. Yeah, so we could use, I know Liz has been wanting to get just footage for the future. I'm glad to see James is back in good health.
I'm very glad, yes.
Yeah, I actually had texted him and called him because I was just nervous. I was like, because he doesn't live there, right? He lives somewhere else.
No, he lives in San Diego.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we were just recently on a panel with him from
Connected.
San Diego Community College.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, so he's a long way from home. So I'm really glad he's better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, they're playing some jams.
That's smooth.
What do you want?
All
right.
Yeah.
Can we move this? The camera, no, we're gonna go that way here, right? We're going that way?
Jenny, were you able to get a hold of Dee regarding the letter?
Yeah, she knows about
Over
it.
you.
Perfect.
Did you want her to read it?
You know what? I think it would be a good idea, especially when Univision is there, because they can pick that up, and that would kind of ensure that it gets
Straighten up.
to Dr. Biden's ears.
Like that.
Yeah, like at the end. For the action.
Yes.
Okay, let me call her right now.
It's all of them, right? Whatever it is.
Jenny, did you see the letter that Congressman Garcia sent, his statement?
Oh, sorry, I was just on what did you ask me?
Did you see the letter that Congressman Garcia sent regarding his statement?
I didn't read it, but I did kind of just like skim through it. What did you think of it?
It was great. I love one phrase where he says that we must hold the Biden administration accountable.
Woo! He's using our language.
Yeah.
That hardly happens with Congress people.
Yeah. So, and I imagine that Naomi is going to read that.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, right. That's what I have imagined too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad. I know that he couldn't be here, but it's great that he's sending support.
That he sent her, yes.
Yeah.
She's his legislative assistant, so.
I think we met her once, or like on Zoom, right?
Yeah, I think she was on one of the calls.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited that we'll have her there. And you know what's also pretty significant? It's so weird that how many things come together. But yesterday Delano had the proclamation.
I saw that.
Yeah, Laura's birthday was yesterday, and like today we're gonna be honoring her, and it's just so weird how all these little things come together like that.
Yep, absolutely. And you had mentioned that she's going to be joining us on Zoom.
She said she was, but we'll see.
Yep.
She has a link, and then yeah, I know this.
To a dog, there's nothing better than playtime, and nothing worse than the.
Yeah, if she does, that'd be great.
Yeah, she said that her family would have been able to make it, but since they worked, they couldn't. They had to
Yeah, of course.
Can I get your chop down the street?
But I'm really excited to have Veronica there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very meaningful.
I'm gonna put myself on mute because I'm over here typing something.
Okay.
Do you know our Twitter information, by the way?
What's that?
Do you know our Twitter login information? I think it's
Uh,
I don't have a password anymore.
Let me see.
I was trying to post some stuff on it because I saw that people were tagging us.
Let me see if I can find it. I know it's in one of the emails.
If not, it's okay. Also,
Well, she's over there. Right there. On the other side of the, she's over here, on the other side of the trailer.
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
Yes. I was like,
It's on.
Jenny, can you send Naomi a run of the show?
oh, I just did, but I'll
Oh,
resend it.
okay,
I sent it like a couple minutes.
okay.
Yeah.
You just saw her message.
Oh, did she? Okay, let me see. Hold on a sec, because Dee's calling me.
All right, I love the t-shirt.
hello. Give me 1 second. I got it. This is your feet. Sorry. I think it'd be best if you're
See that? HTTP, DITLY. HTTPS.
You know you can do this with your camera?
Say again?
You know you can do this with your camera?
No, I never knew that. You can show me on the flight.
See, look. Yeah, I can look. You see, you see. Yeah, I get it. Whenever you see one of those, just
Right.
put your camera up.
Yeah.
Open. Get it open.
It said there was something wrong.
Yeah, there is something wrong. Give us comments. Let's move this further.
Hold on, let me try that one.
Okay. HTTPS. Damn. That's something like normal. It's HTTPS. Yeah, that's fine. There you go.
I got it.
Get it down.
Go check, no, go check me.
Yeah, that works. Oh,
I still
Is
think,
this your camera?
Could be. Could be, I'm not sure.
I think we're in the way of it now. so-
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
turn it sideways, cars can see it.
Think. Are you getting the mural as well? Leaving no one behind?
Where's Tracy? Hello. Brother.
That's real. So, Keith,
I'm right here. I am.
I might be able to.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, you are. You're cooking you before that. But I think, yeah, yeah.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this event that we're putting on out here on behalf of the three-pager and our pagers, Deported Veterans Advocacy Project and Veterans for Peace. And the first thing we want to do to start our program is to give a big shout out, a thank you to LCIL as the store owner of Family Market on River Stand. And we would, she can say, okay, but we want to give a shout out to her. Good. She's allowed us to use her space to advocate for deported veterans, and not enough people in America are doing that. So thanks to her, we're out here in this neighborhood right now. Okay. Creators of the amazing mural project, shout out for Corey Stowers from DC Mural and from Flora Yvonne, the artist. He's up here, everybody. Their hard work has brought us all here together today. But it wasn't just their hard work, it was all of everybody's. It was all of everybody's hard work. Because that's what it's going to take now and in the future. We're almost to the finish line. Now it takes all of us together to make this happen. So thank you for being out here today. And I'm going to turn this over to the co-MC and ask Dee Dee Vega to come and take over the MC role and call the speakers. And again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and from our organization's heart.
Good afternoon, you guys. My name is Diane Vega. I am a board member with the Patriot Our Patriots. The Leave No One Behind campaign was created as a response to President Biden's immigration plan, which was introduced in his first 100 days. His plan excluded the return of deported veterans or the termination of separation of families. This is something that has to be stopped, and that's the reason why we're here today. Now, the first person that we're going to have out here is going to be, of course, Oliver, if you wouldn't mind.
Hi, everyone. Thank you to everyone that put this together, to the people that are not here, that also had a part in making today happen, to the people that are watching, that are going to be watching in the future and seeing this mural. My name is Oliver Marino. I'm the coordinator of the Immigrant Justice Network. We are a policy organization that focuses on the intersection of the criminal legal system and immigration. And we're here to support people who have been separated by the immigration system. And especially wanna thank the people that are not here, as I mentioned, that are watching us, and they're gonna be watching us on Zoom or via other channels. And the people that are in other countries and that cannot be reunited with their family, unfortunately. Some of them are, this mural symbolizes their story. And I just want to say, even though like we don't have hundreds of thousands of people here in our streets today, we know that hundreds of thousands of people do support them. And we want to make sure that they feel that they're not forgotten, right? And every single one of you, I just want to say thank you. And also thank you to Representative Garcia's office and who reintroduced the New Way Forward Act. The New Way Forward Act, the intention of this legislation is to repair the harm that has been caused by the immigration laws and provide people who have been deported an opportunity to come home. And some of you'll hear today some of their stories. And I just want to encourage everyone to uplift that message that no one deserves to be separated from their family, regardless of their past, regardless of where they came from. And we're here to uphold those demands that people have for President Biden and also for Congress. I know that, I was talking to someone earlier, and it's really frustrating sometimes to see that Congress sometimes takes a long time to make things happen, but we know we have supporters there and we have supporters here, and it really takes a village to make sure that people feel supported and not forgotten. So once again, thank you for inviting me. Thank you to everyone who made this happen today. And I know this is a testament to their power and their work. So thank you.
Big round of applause for Oliver. Thank you very much for coming out here to speak. Now, please, if you don't mind, John, it's your turn.
My name is Jan Room, and I'm out of San Diego, California with Vets for Peace and with the Deported Veterans Advocacy Project, operating on the border on both sides in the US and in Mexico, with an officina in Mexico close to the port, to the site of deportation. We first heard about this issue back in 2007, about November. In 2008, we formed Banished Veterans with an attorney, and we proposed she's an immigration attorney, criminal defense attorney, so she proposed that we modify 8 US Code 1101 Alpha 22, which defines what a citizen and a national of the United States is. We all know what a citizen is, somebody who was born here or somebody who's naturalized as a citizen. But I think we don't understand that what they say in that section of that code, that it is a person, though not a citizen, who owes a permanent allegiance to the United States. That sounds to me like a veteran, somebody who threw up the right hand, was willing to die for this country, was willing to take a bullet, and was willing to serve voluntarily, and in the case of Vietnam vets, drafted. So that code is what we're looking at trying to change, and we're trying to put it into the Chuy Garcia's bill. I think it's 58, is it 583? HR 583. It's the, if my memory serves the old man, the Way Forward Act. And it's attempting to modify some of the mean-spirited law that was implemented in 1996 when the Republicans controlled the House and the Senate, and Bill Clinton was the president, willingly signed it. And in an effort to look tough on crime and look tough on immigrants, they put this bill forward. Nobody really understood what it was because they called it the Illegal Immigration Reform and Responsibility Act. Because veterans are not illegal. Veterans came here with their parents as young children, 3 months, 5 years. They came in lawfully with a green card. They stayed in there and they volunteered ever since the end of the Vietnam War. We haven't had a draft. These guys have gone and volunteered, and women, over and over for this military and for this country because they're patriots. This is their home. Mexico is where they were born, or any other country around the globe. So without any further ado, 8 US Code 1101 Alpha 22, call your member of Congress, call the White House, and ask President Biden to modify that and ask him to issue an executive order stopping the deportation of veterans immediately. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Naomi. I know, unfortunately, Representative Chuy was not able to join us today, but if you don't mind, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Naomi Lake, and I'm here on behalf of the Office of Congressman Chuy Garcia. Unfortunately, the congressman couldn't be here today, but he's given me a few remarks that I can read in his place. So these are his words. Thank you for having us today. I am honored to join you all in the unveiling of the mural in honor of Laura Mesa and other deported veterans, dreamers, and families that have been separated. Laura's story shows the failure of several systems. The VA failed to provide adequate resources for the trauma she endured, and our immigration system deported yet another veteran who proudly served her country. The reality is that since 1996, one mistake, even if decades old, is enough to deport a veteran to a country they barely know without regard for their years of patriotic duty to our country. This January, I reintroduced the New Way Forward Act, which would prohibit deporting immigrants based on certain drug-related offenses and criminal convictions more than 5 years old. The New Way Forward Act also provides a legal pathway for already deported individuals to come home. The Biden administration's day one immigration proposal was received as a positive first step and demonstrates the administration's commitment to restoring dignity and compassion to our broken immigration system. However, as with any administration, we must hold the Biden administration accountable. As of last month, Over 120,000 immigrants have been deported under this administration's watch, despite a promise to stop deportation. We can't ignore the fact that we just broke Trump's monthly record for migrant expulsions. We've inherited a broken immigration system, but there are steps this administration can take. ICE, for example, has broad authority to decide whether or not to deport someone. It's time that we reimagine an immigration system guided by justice and compassion to restore the fundamental principles of due process and keep families together. We must remind President Biden and the daughter of immigrants, Vice President Harris, that never again should our country deport those who have put their lives on the line to serve the country they love. It's time we chart a new way forward so that all immigrants are treated with the full dignity and respect that we all deserve. I look forward to working with all of you as we decriminalize immigration and keep families together. Thank you.
Round of applause.
All right, everybody, good to be back here again. We're going to have the next speaker is going to be Cesar Lopez, and he's been a member of this operation and our operation since far back as I can possibly remember. And he's joined here today with Manny Valenzuela, and they are the dynamic duo who takes this wonderful wagon right here and travels throughout the land and talks to people and meets people and goes one-on-one and lets them know that there's a humanist side of this thing as well as all of the legislation and whatnot. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and call Cesar to come forward and say his words on behalf of the Valenzuela's wagons.
Thank you, Willie. Like Willie mentioned, I've been a part of this for 9 years. I found Veterans for Peace, and thank you for always being there for all of us in one way or another. And I am here with the issue of deported veterans. I got deported in 2013, and that was another broken promise that the government of the United States made to me. Now, these promises are not only broken to me and other military veterans that got deported, but also to the whole Hispanic community. It's time for the community to stop begging to be recognized and stand up. They have promised us reform for 22 years and nothing has happened. And nothing will happen if you don't stand up and demand what is yours, your right to be recognized as a human being in the land that we are from. Because we might be an immigrant in their eyes, but this is our native land. How is it that we're illegal on stolen land? I don't understand that. And our main purpose now is that Manuel Valenzuela and I, we have traveled the country and we have brought this issue straight to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. And both of them promised us they were gonna end this with an executive order and bring us home. That's why we are here. We're not here to ask for an audience and maybe they can have time for us. We demand that they see us and we demand that they right this wrong. This is an injustice, not only on us, but on the American people, on the American fabric of our society. If he wants to mend the soul of this nation, he can start by mending the American fabric that got torn with the minute they started deporting veterans. I thank everybody that's here and that is listening or eventually will. Please stand up. Demand what is yours. Be recognized as a human being and do not let oppression subdue you to the point that you remain quiet. Thank you.
Thank you, Cesar. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, we're going to move to the next part of our program, which is what we call the Storytellers program here, because the important thing is for you to meet all of these people personally and hear the stories all the way through. But first, I want to thank all the folks from, and I'll let Dee speak for the Repatriate, our Patriots, But I want to thank all the folks in the Deported Veterans Advocacy Project that traveled from all over the country, all the way from Mexico, as a matter of fact, to be here today and present this mural and to establish this mural in the neighborhood. So I'd like everybody from the project that was here, hold your hands up high and let's hear a roar for the work party. Okay, thank you. All right, without further ado, it's storytelling time, and our first story is going to be one of the most important, and that's Manny Valenzuela.
Yeah. Manny.
Manny. Okay, it's good. Okay. I have a lot to say, man. I've been, since 2009, I've been fighting this, the deportation of military veterans. I received a letter to appear in court in Denver, immigration court. When I came out of there that evening, my mother died. That's January 29th. And she passed away right there in Colorado Springs that same day. A month later, 2009, in February, my brother got the removal notice and he came to my house. The way I felt he looked like shit, in other words. And I asked him, what's wrong? That's when he said, looky here, another removal notice from my brother. It brings me back to where, when I was in the jungle in Vietnam, all of us, some of us ran out of sea ratchets, and we was crawling to the jungle and eating the dirt and everything and whatever we could eat to survive. And we protect each other and we bring each other back, dead or alive. For this country to do this to veterans, it's against our oath and what we believe on. We leave nobody behind. The commander-in-chief of the military is responsible for this actions that been going on for many years. He's in charge of Homeland Security. And he can just with a pen put down, nobody touches my troops. Nobody. If they do wrong, they go to the judicial system afterwards. They earn the right to live in this country. If you read that in the AM right there of my van, anyone who served in our military has earned the right to citizenship. We are citizens. What is so ugly, I have been to 5 funerals. And those 5 funerals were of deported veteran brought back to the border, put it on a coffin with the American flag on it. Then they take them to Texas, Publius at Fort, and they give them a military funeral and fold the flag and give the flag to the parents and say thank you for your service after they've been deported for 20, 15 years. This is a disgrace and dishonor to all of us. Our commander-in-chief of the military should have the guts to stand up as commander, not as a politician. We don't need a politician as commander. We need both president and commander-in-chief. His role is commander-in-chief, and he has to stand up and bring all the families back home too. They shouldn't be thrown apart. Once we serve, all the families serve. And I didn't go to Vietnam to see this, the separations of families and the country being separated, torn apart with a political ring doing this to us. This is wrong. This is definitely wrong. I went to Vietnam because they said communists gonna come and take away our freedom. I went and fought for that to protect my family. And that's everybody's family. We went and fought for it. This political ring is done is wrong. We have to start realizing the people of the United States, you Marines, Army, military, you writers, get up and say, we don't need this shit no more. We're military and we can stop this. We can gather together and say, Commander-in-Chief, no more of this. And your political ring, you're supposed to represent us and take care of us, not do whatever you want with us. And we're not going to accept that. And this September coming up, I have a mission. I've invited to another event with the motorcycle riders, and there's going to be something happening. So President Biden, I want you to stand up and realize it ain't over yet. If you don't take care of this, we're going to be here and be your nightmare. You have to answer to this. Stop the deportation of military veterans and the families, separations of our families. They say it's not America to be done like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manny. Now I'd like to introduce Veronica Castro. She's a spouse of a military service member who's actually in the process of getting deported. It's very important for you to listen to her words. This shouldn't be happening. Somebody should not be in the service, active military, and your spouse can be deported. That's uncalled for. Your separation of families needs to stop. Now, we're also gonna have Cesar Nunez, who will be translating for her. So this might take a little bit. Please have a little bit of patience with us. Por favor, Veronica.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Verónica Castro. Soy esposa de un veterano Army.
Hello, everybody. My name is Veronica Castro. I'm the wife of an Army veteran.
Estoy en proceso de deportación.
I'm in the process of deportation.
Y toda mi familia son ciudadanos americanos.
Everybody in my family is a U.S. citizen.
Mi esposo padece de diabetes. Mi hijo tiene un problema de corazón. Mi esposo padece de diabetes. Mi hijo tiene un problema de corazón que cada cierto tiempo le hacen cirugía.
My husband suffered from diabetes. My son has a heart condition that he needs to be treated very so often.
Mi hijo Kevin tiene parálisis cerebral. Si a mí me llegan a deportar, mi familia se queda destruida, porque si me deportan para México, mi esposo va a tener que lo atiendan atención médica, y mi hijo aquí tiene su cardiólogo, y se me hace bien injusto porque mi esposo sirvió a esta gran nación. Él salió con honores, y se me hace injusto que ahora nos estén haciendo esto.
I have a son, Kevin. He's got cerebral palsy. Also, my husband needs treatment, and I find it unfair that the country is trying to deport me, and I'm the one that takes care of all my family members at home. It's unjust that a family member of a veteran that has served is getting deported.
Necesitamos que por favor nos ayude el presidente Biden, porque tanto los veteranos como las familias de los veteranos y nuestros hijos ciudadanos americanos de padres sin estatus, necesitamos que hagan un proyecto de ley para que nos ayuden a todos, porque van a sufrir muchísimo mi familia. Mi esposo ya está muy desilusionado del sistema roto.
We're asking President Biden to not only help deported veterans come home, but also the families. This has gone long enough, and we're all suffering very much on this, and comprehensive immigration needs to be addressed.
Y necesitamos mucho apoyo, mucha ayuda.
We need a lot of help. We need a lot of support.
Mi esposo hemos ido a pedir ayuda a los congresistas y nos ignoran.
My husband and I have gone requesting assistance from congressmen and Senate, and there hasn't been any answer.
Necesitamos, por favor, que el presidente ya nos ponga atención. Dicen que aman mucho a los veteranos y a las familias. Por favor, necesitamos mucha ayuda.
We need the president to step up and help us out. They claim they love the veterans and their families, and yet we keep on getting deported.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you.
Now I'll be introducing the artists, the muralists from DC Murals. Please, if you don't mind, you guys, that way you guys can introduce yourself one by one. You guys can talk about what this creation is, how it came to be.
Hi, my name is Flor Rivas. I am a DC native and proud daughter of 2 immigrant parents. So I am very happy to be a part of this. I'm very happy to have been brought onto this project. And I'd like to specifically thank Corey and Eddie, who helped create the mural with me. Corey, who also helps run DC Murals and brought me onto this and put me onto it. So I'm really thankful. And I also just want to say that when it came to the mural design, apart from Laura Mesa, when I was trying to think of how to best represent, I wanted it to be both genders. I know that, it is doesn't matter what gender you are thing, like the deportations are happening. And when I was researching for the man who I wanted to do, it's so funny, I didn't know who was gonna be here today, but I used Cesar as my inspiration. So I was really glad to see that he was here today, and I'm very excited because he is in fact who I created the man on the right side of the mural for. So I'm gonna pass along to our other wonderful artists.
Just wanted to take a second to thank Garrett from Veterans for Peace for reaching out and looking for a space where we could actually create something that has a little bit more permanence for you guys. It's truly been our pleasure, our honor to be able to create something to help bring this important issue to the streets of Washington, D.C. And I respect all of you for your service, and I thank you for coming to Washington, D.C. to spread this message.
I'll just second that from both of you. I want to thank you all for your service. I'm just happy to have helped with a great message, something that'll live on this wall for a while. I'm a big proponent for representation, and I'm here for that fight, regardless of the cause across the board. So thank you all. Keep the fight going.
And bear with me, I have Laura's letter in my phone, so I'm going to be reading from my phone. So this is from Laura Mesa, to whom it may concern. It is not easy to speak about ourselves, and even more so about the things that make us hurt. But if there is purpose behind it all, then it makes it more worth it. I personally have tried to continue my life without having to bring up and think about these things that have had such a negative impact in my life. Either way, I know that these things are in our subconscious and never really go away. They hide pretty well, but sometimes there are triggers, people, sounds, and situations that bring them up. On some occasions, like a fire that stirs up our innermost emotions of fear, anxiety, and anything which causes us to turn on the alert button. I hope this letter can help cause awareness and open doors for new laws that will help my fellow veteran brothers and sisters, as well as myself. At least there will be knowledge of the awful things that some of us go through, later to be in a really bad, helpless mental state. The state is nowhere. You basically lose yourself. Your dreams and goals vanish. You don't know where you're going, and all you want to do is disappear. It is a place where there is no reasoning, nor clarity, only cloudiness and much pain. I want to help cause awareness not only on what has happened to me, but what has happened to probably many of my fellow deported brothers and sisters in arms. In particular, my mental health issues that I have had to deal with, which were initially brought upon by my first sexual assault in Germany. Then my symptoms became worse shortly after being deployed to Iraq. In Germany, I was first abused, used, and taken advantage of. The worst part of it all is that even to this day, it is hard to not think I had fault in it somehow. I should have never trusted a complete stranger, nor gone in his barrack, later to be used and made feel worthless. In Iraq, I was deeply impacted by the tragic results of war and suicide bombings. These horrible scenes grasp at our values, which are deeply rooted in our inner souls with no mercy at all. I grew up in the small town of San Ignacio de Acosta in Acerri, a small country town about an hour away from San Jose, Costa Rica. I lived there until the age of 5, which was when my parents took me to the US on a tourist visa. The people from my hometown are mostly farmers, small businessmen, kind of like Costa Rican cowboys, I will say. Here we are big on farming, cattle raising, coffee, and other agricultural exportation products. Growing up as a small child, I had a happy and wonderful childhood. I was told I ate dirt and bugs like grasshoppers sometimes. What an odd appetite. I had anemia growing up, so I heard that may have been the dirt eating culprit. Anytime I was MIA, my family knew where to find me. In my paternal grandmother, Mama's gorgeous backyard garden. I used to run through coffee fields while helping my maternal grandpa pick coffee, probably another hotspot for eating dirt. My childhood was great. I played and played and played. It was the best childhood, other than my father being somewhat hard or on disciplining us, and our family moved around a whole lot. Just to give you an idea, I went to about 4 different primary schools. My life before my incident, while in active duty, was pretty normal, and I was a person of good moral character, a good student and kid. I only remember having one encounter with the police before the military. This incident occurred in Prince William County, Virginia. I was charged with having a concealed handgun and impersonating a law enforcement officer. I was arrested at Potomac Mills Mall, and at the time, I was working for Montgomery County's Emergency Communications Center as a 911 dispatcher. I remember being asked what I was doing with the BB gun, and I was so scared and nervous that I said I worked for a Montgomery Police Department. This was true. I think out of fear that I was going to jail, I even said I was an undercover agent. That was really dumb, but the first and only thing that came to mind. I think I had an undercover agent's business card. This because some of my father's old friends, like 3 of them, were caught for international drug trafficking. They have been in jail for like 20 years now. It was a card given to our family because we had apparently been followed by the FBI because of them. Even we were under investigation. According to my mother, they even mentioned seeing us going fishing with them, and they made jokes about how most of the time they never caught anything, which was for the most part true. I clearly remember this because at the age of like 11, I caught a huge carp and made my father's day. I remember because I have a photo of me holding it, forcing a hard smile in between fear and excitement. Anyways, I'm trying to understand better why I said and did the things I did at the time. I had never had problems with the law, and I was in a state of panic. I hate the fact that I lied. I should have just said the truth, and it was borrowed that I was interested in learning how to shoot. So I could enlist in the military and begin practicing my target shooting. That day I was arrested, lost my job, which I really enjoyed, and charged with the misdemeanor of impersonating a law enforcement officer. I should have told them exactly what had happened, which was I had borrowed a BB gun from a friend who spoke to me of the Army. He had been enlisted as well. He talked to me about the military. This was the first person to really speak to me about the military in a proud way. He said he could lend me the BB gun to practice target shooting with cans in my backyard. After the thing he mentioned, I was very eager to learn more about enlisting in the Army. I was also interested in the Marines, but chose the Army over the Marines because of the MOS offered by the Army. The Army offered me dental assistance, which was 91 Echo. And since small, most of my life, I dreamed about becoming a dentist to someday help heal my mother's toothaches, which were many. She frequently complained and always suffered because of her bad teeth. I believe that at one point, after speaking with my ex-boyfriend, Bill, who at the time was a Chevy Chase officer, I had even considered becoming an officer. I think as a child, there are several different careers that interest us, but some stick out more than others. I thought that being an officer would be a great way to help the people in danger. Most of my mom's family here in Costa Rica are police officers. Now that I think of my life, it can be very ironic. I later got to hating and fearing most police officers after being mentally abused and tortured by Baltimore County Police Homicide and Sex Headquarters, in particular by one detective there. Later in 2006, after my second sexual assault. to tell you somewhat about my early beginning in the US, which to this day I consider home. I will go back in time to the age of 6, where all I remember was I was a ball of energy, waiting to explore this universe, and in particular, my neighborhood and my bicycle. I love my 2 sisters dearly, like daughters. I always would have liked to have a brother, since we, in particular with Marion, whom I taught to read at the age of 3, you ask me now, and I don't even remember how I did that. I am very proud of her. She's very smart. Natalie, the youngest, was not born yet, but she was like my own baby. I took great care of her, like the big sister I was to both of them. Although we moved around a lot, I always managed to adapt and make new friends at every different school I went to. Although I was always the new girl, I managed to balance good grades after learning English for the most part. I used to play at the neighborhood parks for hours until the lightning bugs came out. Used to collect them in glass jars to watch them for hours in my room light up off in amazement. Poor fellas. The end of the letter, but I just want to say again, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for being here, for helping us bring this to DC. And I am very proud to be the daughter of 2 immigrant parents and to be a DC native who can help you tell these stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Flo. That was super heartbreaking having to listen to that story. But thank you very much for giving her story a voice. Now, please, if you don't mind, so many thanks, of course, to the store owner, Ms. Garcia, por favor, if you don't mind coming up here, telling us why you let us borrow this place and giving us this space.
Good afternoon. My name is Elsie Ayala, and I just want to say thank you for taking your time and do this nice mural in my building. And I just want to say to take a little time to think about this family, give them the chance to stay in the United States. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you.
Please, once again, thank you very much. Please, thank you very much. Victor, where are you? Victor. ¿Ande? Right when I need Victor to be the one to tell us about his struggle, his work that he does with deported veterans. Now, please, a big round of applause for Victor.
Muchas gracias. I'm here from Rosarito, Baja California, representing the deported veterans. This is my first time in DC. And as I came down that lane, I saw the American flag at half staff, and under it, the missing in action flag that was just reinstated by President Biden. I beg and plead with you to honor that part of it, the missing in action, and our brothers that have died in the gutters of a foreign country. Cast away. Hector, Lupita, Daniel, Coney, I'm here. Chewy, Jay, there's so many, I can't say all their names, there's too many. But most of all, for my brothers that didn't make it back. And in honor of them, we may have to make this a priority, because soon these men are not going to be around. Deported veterans are going to be a thing of the past, and there will not be any more deported veterans, because at this stage, there won't be any alive. Thank you.
Willie, if you don't mind. We're already coming to the end of this. Willie, if you don't mind, please.
Yes.
Few words.
Just a few words. I want to go back to what I talked about earlier about the collection. I got two things to say. One is about the incredible coalition that came together on this event. We've been working as individual groups and doing everything we can, individuals, and doing everything we can about this thing since 2009 that I can remember. And so now today, this is all of these organizations, this is like an official coalition that's come together. And so we could reach out further and speak to people. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of what happened here today. And the second thing is I want to remember my brothers that came with me, Victor Reynoso. There's my brother Stash right here. Hello, Stash. Okay, and our videographer there, his name is James Smith. And Maurice Martin, who has worked with us since 2009. And Jan Ruman, my co-coordinator for the project. Did I get everybody that was in our troop? Touch on everybody? All right, then. I guess we're about done. Or do you have something else up?
This was a last minute addition. This is a letter to President Biden. As President of the United Teacher Los Angeles, UTLA, 35,000 member teacher union, I want to tell you how much we appreciate your deep commitment to public education. Additionally, I'd like to share a resolution our House of Representatives, composed of hundreds of chapters of chairs at individual school sites, passed to address the urgent need for immigration reform. UTLA joins veterans and immigrant groups in urging immigration reform that leave no one behind. We urge elected officials, Congress, and the Biden-Harris administration to take a series of policy steps to protect the immigrants and support family reunification. By number one, passing an executive action or a series of actions as outlined by Senator Tammy Duckworth to begin the process of repatriating and deporting veterans. Implementing the New Way Forward Act into law as reintroduced by Representative Jesus Chuy Garcia. Rationale. As educators, we believe families have the right to reunify. Having paid their debt to society, they should not be punished threefold with deportation and separation from their loved ones. Many US citizen children, which occupy seats in these classrooms, are suffering severe emotional, psychological, learning, even suicidal tendencies from the trauma of having seen their parents arrested and or deported by ICE. The damage being done by US citizen children is irreversible. If corrective measures are now not implemented soon, too many, some maybe too late. We as teachers can share the unique challenge these students face, or sometimes may even go unnoticed. As displayed as child's learning abilities, with over 3 million deported in just that few years, it is not difficult to comprehend how many children we have in classrooms that have been affected by the deportation of one or both parents. Kids growing up in unprecedented times, to grow up without a parent is disastrous to their growing up to the productive adults. Thank you, Dr. Biden. We look forward to you sharing our resolution with President Biden and White House staffers working on immigration reform. Again, we are grateful for your commitment to public education and unity. Cecily Maria Cruz, UTLA president. Now, the last thing that we ask for is a call of action. The only thing that we can do is once again, talk about the reforms and the actions that need to be done. We want all veterans, those that have been deported, to return. Those that are in detention to be taken out of detention, to be returned back to society. One mistake should not lead to deportation. And with that, a big round of applause to the artist, please, to the store owner for letting us have this place, to his representative, to all those advocates that have worked so hard to, once again, use these individuals' voices. Please, one more round of applause for them. Thank you guys. Thank you. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you guys being out here.
Make some noise.
Thank you for joining the screen as we wrap up the press conference on the Deported Veterans project. Very happy to be here in DC.
Thank you, folks, for joining us today in the unveiling of this wonderful mural in Washington, D.C. in honor of our deported sister-in-arms, Laura Mesa and Cesar Nunez, and all the deported veterans and all those families that have been separated by the broken immigration system. We want to thank the Leave No One Mural Project for the vision of this campaign. And we also want to thank, of course, all of our coalition members, Immigration Justice Network, Veterans for Peace, Deported Veterans Advocacy Project, and Repatriate, Our Patriots, Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center, and many other organizations that have come
Hey, James,
together in
Can you
support.
hear me right now? Okay, can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me right?
James, we've got Laura Mesa coming on board. We're gonna ask her, see if she would like to say a few words for us. Laura. Laura, hi, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Sorry, I just got in. Oh boy.
Not a problem, Laura. The press
I have a new
conference.
cell phone.
Not a problem, Laura. The press conference is over, but we're still live on social media on different pages. If you would like to say something to our friends that are out there still tuning in.
Sure, definitely. Sorry, everybody. I just got in. This is a hassle.
I want to leave it on the stand.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, please.
An honor to be here. Hi to everybody and all the people who love and support us, veterans and all of us who love our country. And this is our other country because I also love my my birth country, but the U.S. is my other country. I can't say I love one more than the other. It's crazy, but I love both of my countries the same. And people say, well, what is patriotism? What is that? Patriotism even is something so simple like you hearing somebody make a remark that you don't like or talk bad about the US, and that's when it kicks in. When you can't have people talk bad or say something that you don't like about your culture, American people, or the country. So that's when it kicks in, when you hear somebody or anybody say anything that you don't, you're American inside because you come out and you want to defend it. You don't let anybody talk down on the country that you grew up in, that gave you, your more principles and values after your parents, your upbringing, your being raised, your education, my childhood, part of my childhood. So, I mean, I love the US and I always will. I'm very proud to be an American as well as Costa Rican. I'm very proud to be both cultures, a beautiful blend and mix of, the Latin culture and the American culture, because it also kicks in when I have a little bit of how do you say crash? I tend to chocar with people sometimes. The machismo here, it's a little difficult, but that's when my culture kicks in. I come from a culture where men and women are equal. We're all equals, and we respect each other. We help each other in the household. We are, I'm teaching my son to not be a machista man, that he's going to grow up. And if you live in a home that you're both responsible, it's teamwork. It's not, this is a woman's job, this is a man's job, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of things that, I'm my culture and my, things that I respect a lot of people's, beliefs and everything, because I grew up in a melting pot of cultures in DC, where we have all kinds of people of all races and all kinds of ideas and different religious backgrounds, that I was raised to learn to respect people like that, not to discriminate on somebody because they're different. So I thank the US for all that, for being the person I am, to making me who I am today as well.
Thank you, Laura. And, I like very much your words because, many of us sometimes feel like we don't belong here in our country of birth that we've been deported to, and that we didn't belong to the country that saw us grow up. And I think that's a very wrong way of thinking because it belittles yourself. And actually, we have to have that courage and that pride of who we are, because we do share something very special. And that special thing is that we belong to two countries. We have the culture of both countries. The country that saw us, our birth. We love that country because that's who we are. In your case, Costa Rica, in my case, Mexico. But we also love the United States because that's where we grew up. That's where our life is. That's where our family is. We're part of both. And, that's who we are. That's, the person that we are today was put together by, by both cultures, by both countries. And, my good friend from Oda in Mexico City, Maggie, one day told me, we need to stop thinking que ni de aquí ni de allá. We're de aquí y de allá. And we're not going to let anybody take that, from us. No president, no border walls, nothing is going to make us.
Funny. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, please go ahead.
That's funny that you mentioned that. I remember reading the Latinas Bible when I was back in high school in the US. And that's exactly what Sandra Guzman, the author of that book, said. We're not from here. Sometimes we don't feel like we're from here. We don't belong here, but we're not from there either. So that's a very good point. I've been there, but I'm not there anymore.
No.
I feel you. And this is where our roots, where we were born is our roots and everything, and our family background and everything. But where we were raised and where our families are now is the US. That's where, my heart is. It's always been there. And I can't wait. I need to go back to be with my family. I have faith that, it's going to happen.
Absolutely. And thanks to actions like, the New Way Forward Act from Congressman Chuy Garcia and, Senator Tammy Duckworth sending that letter to President Biden requesting him to issue an executive order. Those are good signs, but we have to keep pushing. We cannot let our guard down. We need to keep fighting. We need to continue pushing until every deported veteran is repatriated, until every military family is repatriated, until every one of those families that are suffering the separation by the unjust immigration broken laws, until everyone returns to the family. We gotta keep fighting.
Amen to that, brother.
Great. Laura, thank you. Thank you very much. I hope we stay in touch and let's keep up the fight. Let's not let our guard down, and things are starting to look up. We're getting a lot more people in support. A lot more Congress people, senators are coming out to support. It's the time that we need to continue to push until it make it happen, and make sure President Biden fulfills his promise to bring every deported veteran home and reunite families.
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm very proud of the work everybody's doing, everybody that's involved in this. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Laura. Take care of yourself. God bless you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Jenny, before you sign off, you want to say anything to Laura?
Well, I just want to, not really. I think everyone has done a great job, and all the organizers down at the, in Washington, D.C. did a phenomenal job today. I know they put a lot of hours, and to you, Robert and Liz, for putting in an immense amount of work. But Laura, I know we had trouble connecting you earlier, but Flor Rivas, the artist in D.C., read your letter, and I think that, I just want to thank you again for using your story and what you went through to open up the conversation, because your story opens up a lot of avenues, right? It's about a lot of different intersectionalities. And so again, I'm so glad that, you know, Flor is honoring you here today in Washington, D.C. I know yesterday was your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
And then I know El Paso is also getting ready to put a mural with your face. And so again, I'm just so thankful for people like you that are willing to share your stories with the world, right? To make sure that
Wow.
we're able to see like what it means when we say veterans are deported, what it means when we say family separation, what it means when people are deported in the system, right? Where they've already created an identity, created a family here in the US. And you know, that's what it's about, is connecting people with what this means, and making it resonate with them. So thank you again. That's all I want to say.
Well, thank you guys, and this is amazing, and I'm very proud to be part of this. All this is history. It's also history in the making, and all the things that are happening. Hopefully, you know, what you guys and everybody with all the work, the hard work you guys are doing, and you know, I guess you speaking up about it, you know, it'll help make a new movement, a Latino movement of immigration. You know, deported veterans. This is amazing.
Absolutely, Laura. That's the whole idea, and that's what we're going to continue to push for.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Great, folks. We're going to go ahead and close our live feed for today. Thanks to everybody, Veterans for Peace, Deported Veteran Advocacy Project, Repatriate Our Patriots, Jay Winterwolf, and all the DC delegation out there, Jenny, Liz, for your vision, Garrett Reppenhagen, Executive Director for Veterans for Peace. Thank you, brother, for stepping up and always being there for our deported veterans, as well as Willie, Jan, Maurice, and the whole gang. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.
God bless you likewise, brother.
Okay, I think we lost Laura, huh?
Yes.
Okay, and we're off live though. Okay, good. Well, I'm so glad she was able to join, even if it was last minute. I think that worked well. So I'm so glad that we got to